Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
Are you really doing season 4 of that stupid podcast?
Y'all, it's your boy Hanger here from Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Listen, we were recording this week. I went out and bought some new equipment, so trying to make the sound quality better. And while we were doing that, I ended up throwing in a background noise reducer, which once it's on there, I can't get it off. And the challenge with the background noise reducer is it tries to reduce the background noise in the bar, which is a loud environment, but then it thinks that it's actually reducing us sometimes as well. So you'll notice that throughout this recording. Next week, we will not have that noise reducer on. My mistake. But this week, sound quality is a little bit rough. But you know what? Thank you for supporting us. We do appreciate all the listens we get. Keep on coming back every week. We're going to get this sound thing right and embrace that little bit of background noise from the bar, because that does make us an authentic show called Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Y'all know the name of the show. It's Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. And what do guys do when they talk sports at the bar? They drink beer. So if you want to buy us a beer, you can Venmo us. The Venmo is at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Hey, welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, for another week of Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. We are just some neighbor friends who get together weekly at MJ's Grill in Columbia, South Carolina, drink some brews with a microphone. Feel free to share our show with your friends, subscribe, give us a positive review on the podcast app, whatever you want to do. We have a Facebook group also called Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Go ahead and join that. You can join it for free. Always fun. Probably the best part of my day is scrolling around and talking with people and talking smack a little bit, as my man Pegram pointed out to me today. Always love having people support the show as well. If you want to support our drinking habit, you can do that by Venmoing us. Our handle is at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. You can also feel free to swing by MJ's on a Tuesday and buy us around if you want to do that as well. Our favorite bartender, Candy's over there, and she will hook us up with your drinks. We're totally okay with it. I'm sure everyone's okay with it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they.
Absolutely. Especially when they buy two people waters, and that's an expensive drink. And so let's go ahead and jump into some introductions for my man, the Chief. How you doing, Chief?
I'm doing great.
Got some French fries over there.
Yep, and I'm having some low glacé for my drink tonight.
Are you gonna have a new name for water every single show, or what?
Yes.
Are we gonna get like the Chinese name for water next or something? Low glacé. Is that like
It's French.
That's French. Okay.
For ice water.
Gotcha. French for ice.
Fragile.
Yep. And then we got my man over here, the Rebel, with his Appalachian State Mountaineers hat on.
If you're gonna say it, you better say it right. There's nothing Appalachian it's Appalachian.
All right, Appalachian State.
Thank you. Thank you. It's fight words.
What is the opening that you did for me that one time? The do it over.
Which one?
For my little mashup. Give it to me, man. I'm sorry. Again?
No, who is that running out of the tunnel? No, it can't be. It's the Appalachian State Mountain, the Giant Killers.
The Giant Killers.
The Appalachian State Mountaineers.
That's what I wanted to hear, the Giant Killers, because that was a good one right there. And we might even get down to whether they're going to kill some giants this year or not. But, well, you don't have to say it out loud yet.
We got to talk about it because they got a medium-sized giant, not a giant, but a medium-sized giant this year next week.
There goes my man of the Roosters piping in with his fishing hippie shirt on. How's it going today?
It's going good.
Drinking some water, I say?
Drinking some water.
H2O.
Yeah, keep your annual physical appointments with your doctors. Mine's tomorrow. Got blood tests going on, so drinking water tonight. Keep those liver enzyme levels down.
So get this. Time we were doing the show, and I had a physical the next day, and I drank like 3 beers, and yeah, they were off the charts. I realized that for some reason I meant to not drink that night, and I still drank. So, see you, my friend.
Well, I had blood work on a Monday after a Friday round of golf and cocktails that evening, and the doctor asked me, did I have a problem because my liver enzymes were so high? I'm like, I probably said don't.
so much because I treated for the first round tonight.
Yeah, so all she's doing is treating for 3 tonight. This is a nice deal. And then we got Cheeks. How you doing, Cheeks? Drinking one of those.
Doing great.
Free drinks again, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nice.
Picking the winners.
No, that's fine. So, as you all know, I wanted to change things up a little bit. You saw the show notes that I put in. We don't typically talk about last week, do we? Like, that's not part of our schedule. But I was thinking to myself, it might be a fun thing to just throw out some words and see what y'all think about that. Like, just what game kind of goes along with those particular words, if you know what I mean. So the first one I got, and we're going to do this where everyone doesn't have to answer. Maybe 2 of you all answer, 3, whatever, that's fine. But oh crap. What game do you think is an oh crap?
Clemson freshmen showing up to play Duke.
That's definitely an oh crap, because everyone thought they were on fire. They were ready to go this season, and oh crap, they're not. Anyone else on that? Oh crap.
You did call it. Duke Blue Devils returned 18 starters from last year, so from a 9-3 last year, so looking like they put together a pretty good team in the ACC.
Your man here called that. I said that was my upset for the weekend.
Your woman here called that too.
Yeah, she did. She agreed with it.
Free drinks.
Brutal. What game was brutal?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a game, but it has to do with a game. Brutal. And I know this is a family-friendly show, but when you get your ass kicked so bad, your head coach is on one knee sobbing on the sideline, as Butch Jones did after Arkansas State got just thrashed. I've never seen a head coach cry on the sideline because he got beat that bad.
That is brutal.
I mean, I feel bad or make fun of him. Maybe a little.
I feel bad. Yeah, that's true. Anything else not as brutal as Maker? Should I go on to the next one?
No, I got one for you too.
What do you got?
So, Wyoming and Texas Tech. Did you
Texas Tech was supposed to be the dark horse in the Big 12.
Yeah.
That's what people are saying.
They went into 2 overtimes, and at the very end, Wyoming threw for a touchdown, and as he released that ball, he got nailed into yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then he popped right back up.
Yeah, it's all worth it when you win.
Yeah, Texas Tech, man.
It's a lot less.
And then they went, that tied up the game, and then they went for 2 points.
Yep. What about I told you so? Is there an I told you so moment? Because my I told you so is the Duke versus the Duke beating Clemson, but does anyone else have an I told you so?
UNC over South Carolina.
Yeah, I expected though.
Yeah, but I called it.
Mine's Florida State, because I think I was one of 2 people at that table that night that said
I told you so.
LSU and that they were that good and that LSU's a little overrated, and well, it played out just how I had it formulated.
And you know the reason why I said FSU was going to win only was because that was the only way for them to be in the top 4 at the end of the season with LSU. But after seeing LSU play, I have to scratch them off my top 4 unless they come back in the next couple of weeks and figure things
Well, to be
out.
fair, last year, first game of the year, LSU, Florida State, they didn't look that great, lost on a blocked extra point, and then ran the table till they played Georgia in the SEC championship game. So you just never know.
You never know.
I saw nothing in that game to make them think they were a top 4 contender.
Yep. Damn. What game made you say damn last weekend, Rooster?
You got 37-year-old Bo Nix scoring 81 points in the Oregon game. Highest points of the week. Talk about just a whooping. Pac-12 offense looks pretty good. Damn. How about OSU and Indiana?
Damn. Everyone expected OSU to blow that one out.
Yep.
And then Indiana holds their own, generally.
You've heard me say it. You're going to hear it all year, and they may end up playing for a national championship. Neither them nor Michigan are as advertised.
Hold on. Michigan is as advertised.
You were arguing that. Let them play somebody.
OSU needs to fix things in offense.
They got a lot of things to fix.
They have a lot to fix, but those things will be fixed up. But what game made you say wow? Because there was a lot of games that were.
Okay. I'm going to throw a dark horse out there.
Wow.
Nobody's really talking about. There's a quarterback transfer out there at Oregon State. Out there, 91.6 quarterback rating, highest for week 1. The guy couldn't even hit the sidelines when he played for Clemson.
So the question for this year is now you saw Clemson's quarterback struggle, who was supposed to be much better.
Yeah.
Is it the quarterback or is it the scheme and coaching that's causing these
Will the
quarterbacks?
brand new offensive coordinator?
Which, by the way, if you go back and you look at his history since he left Clemson, it's abysmal. I mean, it's like he went to Arkansas State and won 2 games. He was the OC when Arkansas he was the head coach at Arkansas and they fired him mid-season. He went to a high school next where they had an 84-game winning streak. First game they lost. So therefore, I mean, that's just awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. So again, is it the quarterback or is it what they're being told to do? I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Was there anything that made you say that was insane? Holy crap!
I gotta go with Duke game.
Which one?
Duke game. Like the one you picked. I was like
Utah?
No, the Duke game.
Oh, the Duke game.
I won't go down the Spectrum rabbit hole, which I couldn't be watching it, so I'm just refreshing it on my phone, and it's like, oh, they're going to catch up. Oh, no, they're spreading the lead out. They're spreading it further. And then I was like, holy cow. And I mean, and the oh wow for me, honestly, was watching Duke rush the field. Have you ever seen a Duke football game?
Well,
the field?
this is a team that just beat number 6.
No, that's not my point. Have you ever seen Duke win a game? Their fans who rushed the field.
Okay,
How about Utah over Florida? And it's insane because Brad Barnes, their backup quarterback, outled them.
I think it's insane that people are calling for Billy Napier's head already.
That's just dumb.
Because that's just dumb. To me, that's insane. All right, there is always the after the first week. Next season, maybe. Maybe next season. Which team is saying that?
In the true form of a game contract.
That's why I put that in.
Somebody Baylor can hang out with them. Yeah, please get into the portal and get yourself an offensive line.
But you know what? Us Florida Gator fans are saying that right about now. So Colorado was the big talk of the weekend. I think everyone. I mean, they knocked everyone's socks off. No one expected an offense that exciting. I don't think anybody was looking to see that. Then it's TCU even, who's ranked 17th at the time.
But that's not a fair ranking when you lose half their team.
To me, it definitely was not a fair ranking. I did not see them being in the top 25 even. They got that. Yeah, and they got that because they were in the national championship last game, I think. But Colorado, big talk of the weekend. Deion Sanders really put together a good team. Is this the new way to do it? If you come in as a new quarterback, just kick everybody out, start fresh, get into that transfer portal, bring 59 new players onto the team.
So is Deion really that good of a coach? We will find out. But here's the thing. He understands the game and he plays it well. And what I mean by that is, in today's world, Billy Napier's a great example. He got to Florida and had nothing to work with. He's 2 years or 3 years in.
This is his second season.
And he had to deal with trying to recruit through COVID. Schools now, you got to win now. And so they don't give coaches time to build their program and see what they can do with it. And Deion recognizes this. He's coming to a program that's been irrelevant realistically for 30 years. And so he goes, well, if I'm going to win and win now, and because he won't say powerful, he won't say big time program. I mean, there's people now saying, oh, he's saving. I guess shut up. But he really.
I've heard people say he's the GOAT. He's the best coach ever.
It's basically he says, as a coach, you've got 2 years to get it done, and if that's the case, coming to a team that won 1 game, 2 games last year, I've got to go buy my players. He figured it out.
And that's a good point. He come into a program that was 5-6. He came into a 1-10, I think. We said awful.
Yeah, 1-11. They won last week.
My prediction is, depending on how his season goes, one of 2 things happens. Is you see everybody go to this model, which is going to screw kids that are on scholarship that are going there to get to college, and it's going to screw the high school kids coming in who are trying to recruit. I think the NCAA does something to kind of rein it in.
I'm going to throw a not so fast in here real quick. So, while I do think
you are like my not so fast guy, I would expect this from you.
So I mean, What I don't understand about the game, and a little bit, probably some skilled players. I know TCU defense decimated, offense decimated, so they're playing a lot of new folks. Colorado, 5 yards rushing. They were one-dimensional. TCU made any adjustments in that game. They got thrown over their head for almost every single touchdown.
And to his point, again, we're going to have to see how the season plays out. Yes, they won the game. Huge upset, big win. Everybody's looking at Deion. They allowed 42 points. It was against a new quarterback and lots of new skilled positions. So the point being is, when they start playing some of these more polished programs above and beyond TCU, you can't score 42 points and play against the defense. I mean, because you can't get a shootout every game. I mean, you can go historically and look at the team that just try to outscore everybody. Long term,
and I think next week they're facing Nebraska. Nebraska is not that good of a team on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they've been pretty strong the last 2 seasons. In this season, I think so. Again, they're strong. They only allowed 13 points last week against Minnesota. It's going to be a good test of that offense over in Colorado to see if they can score on a better defense than TCU. And it's going to be a much better defense.
To your point, though, let's just have some hypotheticals here for a second. And let's say he runs through this season and loses 2 games. Yes, is that model of recruiting going to become more prevalent for a new coach coming in, taking over a program that's not doing very well?
I still don't know that I see it. He was in a very unique situation. HBCU, a place where HBCU, a place where I think doesn't get a lot of respect right now. I think if nothing else, this may change out with HBCU schools that aren't getting a lot of respect right now, and teams are going to see that a little bit, and maybe even students will see that a little bit. Players will see that a little bit, and we may see the HBCU benefit the most out of this type of thing, where they go to HBCU for maybe 1 or 2 years, and then they're transferring to another school.
Maybe, but the thing is, he didn't bring, I don't know the number, it's not like he brought 50 kids over from Jackson State. He brought like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then he brought Travis Hunter with him. Well, no, I said you're bringing 3 or 4, you're not, he brought 60 kids, 50 kids, right? So he didn't get a ball from there. Yeah, it's bringing some exposure there. They're going to become like a JUCO. Hey, you go there, play for a couple of years, you play really well, and then you transfer out, unless they rein it in.
And it was a big deal when he was at Jackson State recruiting the way he was. He was able to get a couple 5-star guys over there. Travis Hunter was one of them. His son, I think, was a 4-star. Like, he was able to get some of these playmakers that otherwise would not have went to an HBCU. That being said, I don't know that it gives the HBCUs respect just because of that.
Well, no, because I think it's again, kind of playing little devil's advocate. Look what happened on Saturday. They won the conference, 2 or 3 years in a row, and A&M just waxed them.
Yeah.
I mean, so you get the program, and then you gut it when you leave.
And he gutted it, and they're left with those non-high-quality recruits that he was able to get. Let's talk about Travis Hunter, though, because my man, the Chief, brought him up. So go ahead, Chief. Tell me about Travis Hunter, because this guy's insane.
120 snaps on both sides.
I mean, my body hurt. You hear that number? I mean,
Both sides of the ball. I mean, there haven't been that many players in many, many years that are on both sides of the ball, but this guy played practically the whole game.
Yeah, it's crazy the way that he's able to do that. I didn't watch the whole game, admittedly, but I was able to see enough, and it was just like, and then you see everything afterwards, and like, this guy's quick. He moves. I just don't know that if you're a coach, do you keep somebody in for 120 snaps every game? Because that's double the potential for injury. And to me, that's a little scary for a 5-star guy like that has the potential to go to the NFL for sure. What are your thoughts on that?
You can argue either way. I mean, I love Ironman football. They did it for years. I mean, you had guys back in the day that never came off the field, like when they could actually try to knock your head clean off. They play special teams too. So can it be done? Yeah. Should he try to protect himself a little bit? Probably.
Man, your
stock just went way up after this game.
19 years old, you're not thinking about that. So.
No, they're not. They're there.
No, but as a coach, don't you think that he should be thinking about that for this guy who is playing 120 snaps a game? That double the chance of injury to me I would say, you know what, let me specialize in my one position. Yeah, it looks cool, it looks great that first game, but man, I would like to think about a career in the future.
You might be able to do that. However,
How many other players around the country are saying, I can do that too, coach? Put me on both sides of the ball.
But you have to have a coach that's willing to let them go.
You know?
Yeah.
I think what you're going to see with him is in big games, he may get 120 snaps. When they get into a blowout game, they're going to throttle him back to let his body rest. I think that's what you'll end up seeing. And, hey, man, if he can pull that off, kudos for him to see. I mean, well, not only that, but you're the coach. You want your best player on the field, and he's the best player.
Yeah. He did a diving interception. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, diving interception. Two of the touchdowns, I believe.
Yeah.
He did an awesome job. I think the question is longevity. Is he going to be able to maintain his physical stature? Or is he going to fizzle out come November? If you look at what Colorado has to play this year, it's not an easy schedule by any means.
No.
Pac-12 they've got UCLA, they've got USC, they've got big games they're going to have to play.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyways, to Rebel's point, is it going to be a big game? You keep him in there, keep your best player on the field. Lesser games, you're up by 20, 30 points. Give the guy the bench for a little while, give him a shot.
There you go.
But are you putting ideas in other coaches' head to do the same thing? One guy that's really good, one guy that's kind of weak.
Throw him in there.
So plays both sides.
Well, I think honestly, with today's NIL world and draft world, I think the player's going to dictate it more than the coach does because, again, he's not going to risk tearing his body apart and risk his draft status, NIL status. It's going to be interesting to see because we're seeing two-way players in progress.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yep.
So let's talk about two teams that don't have two-way players.
Hold on, we cannot go there yet.
Okay.
Because I have some surprise listener questions for you. And I know. You gotta follow the Facebook chats.
I like it on the fly.
Alright? So, let's talk about this for a second. The first question goes from a guy named Courtney. And he says, how do y'all feel about each Power 5 conference adopting a group of 5 conference and then do some kind of relegation like that? So I want to hear your opinion because you said you like it, and my man over here, the Chief, says he
Absolutely love it because again, it allows if you're going to go to the world that we're in now, and they're not going to rein it in. If you don't do something, the group of 5s are going to become 1AA again. That's just where it's actually going to fall to. You having this type of relegation system with a sister brother group of 5 conference, people are going to watch. We're like, okay, so Vanderbilt's trash,
and they adopt the Sun Belt.
All of a sudden, they're going to come into the SEC and see what they're made of. I mean, maybe they're 1 year, win back down. But I think it keeps those teams. It brings more attention to those little smaller group of schools. And you cut out these conversations of, well, can Tulane do it? Can Cincinnati do it? You give them, they have an opportunity to work and earn their way into it.
Let's get a second side of this opinion over here. So, Chief, I know your feelings. And we beat this.
Totally understand where Rebel's coming from, and I agree with a lot of your points. But I think you got to look at it from these are universities. They're a business of education, and they have contracts with conferences who have major contracts for television rights, logos, and everything. And they're not going to support relegation.
Well, guess what? If you're one of them bottom teams, you're going to play harder, you're going to work harder, you're going to do things you got to do, knowing you got some hungry, smaller team ready to run up your rear and take your spot.
Listener question number 2. Tim brings up the following point. The last 6 Gator coaches' record when reaching 8 losses. Spurrier, 27 wins, 8 losses. Meyer, 31 wins, 8 losses. Muschamp, 18 wins, 8 losses. McElwain, 18 and 8. Mullen, 29 and 8. And then you got Napier, 6 and 8. What does that say? Does this guy need to go?
I will stress that I'm a Billy Napier fan because I've seen what he can do. I think it's kind of like in my opinion, it's like a Sean Elliott situation. One of my former teammates, when he took over South Carolina, the cover was that bare that he had to start from the ground up, and he didn't have anything to work with. So when Sean Elliott took over the interim coach of South Carolina, the had a little bit of success, stuff to work with, he probably gets the job. But when he loses, you don't get the job.
He's Florida. He's got stuff to work with. So is figure out players. Is there recruiting classes?
Look at those recruiting classes with those coaches, and look at what they've got with him when you go through 3 or 4 crappy years. Look, you know why South Carolina became relevant? It was because Steve Spurrier had a reputation when he walked in. If they'd have hired a up-and-coming coach, I don't think they had the success that they did when Spurrier came in here. Okay. So the point being is, are they going to give him time in Florida?
No. Do you think there's any chance with the success, and I'm throwing this out there, do you think there's any chance Deion Sanders next year?
There's no chance at all. All right, listen. Think about it.
Think about it.
Let's start question number 3, and this is
Florida State being good in Florida.
he's not going to.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt Billy Napier. If Florida State is doing so well, it's going to hurt.
There's no chance in my question number 3. Get out of control over here. All right. Brian asks, will Clemson and USC fans be leaving that fan base for Coastal Carolina soon? Losses.
No.
Did I say UCLA beat Coastal Carolina their last week? There's no chance that that's happening. Moving on.
Somebody's enchanted clear. Whether you hate or like South Carolina, I've been down here now for 20 years. I'm a transplanted Gamecock fan. That is one of the most loyal fan bases that you're on in the country. They could have a losing record and the stands are still full at least for half the game when you get there on Saturday.
If they're ever good, watch out, because they will tear the stadium.
24,000 seats.
National championship good. I mean, it'll.
Sherman's coming through town again. All right, let's get on to this coming weekend's games. But first, before we get into this weekend's games, let's check with our rather sophisticated, controversial, and often cute process. Who we are betting on this weekend, and that's going to be with the legendary Landon the Legend himself, baby. Let's go ahead and check in with him and see what he says about this week's.
I'm with Texas, UNC, Alabama. We like Alabama.
Alright, so that is our boy, Landon the Legend's picks. He chose Ole Miss. If you couldn't understand them, because sometimes it's tough.
Said USC.
You know what? I'm not even going to tell them who it is. If you want to listen, if you want to know what he said, rewind it 30 seconds and go back.
And by the way, he was 2-1 last week. So
he was 2-1 last week. All right.
His only loss was 4.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, he did choose USC as well this week. So going on, let's go ahead and look ahead to the games that are coming up. We're going to jump into Ole Miss versus Tulane. That is a top 25 matchup. There's not a lot of them this weekend either. Tulane is not a Power 5 conference team, but they are ranked, 23rd or 24th in the AP poll this week? Whereas Ole Miss just blew it out of the water this past weekend. They surprised the crap out of me with their 73 points. I'm looking at this team. Jackson Dart looking pretty good. 334 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is a team that can probably upset some people in the West. What are your thoughts on that? Rooster, hit me.
Yeah, Ole Miss minus 7.5. That's an auto pick for me. I don't think Tulane is going to be able to bring it. After what I saw from Ole Miss last week, they still have a great offense, a ton of weapons. Lane Kiffin's still a good mind for offense. I think Ole Miss wins by 20.
I feel like I heard someone at this table say that Lane Kiffin was done and that he was going to be fired after this season.
No, we said Ole Miss was going to have a rough season.
Okay, but because of him or what?
No, just because of their schedule.
But somebody was doubting Lane Kiffin.
Out their schedule.
Okay, you were saying their schedule. So what do you got to say, Chief?
Okay, so Jackson Dart in this win this past weekend, he threw 334 yards, 4 scores, but all of his passing went to Trey Harris. All
4 went to Trey Harris.
So what Tulane needs to do is shut that down.
Mark his ass.
And
excuse my language.
And the game is at Tulane. And Michael Pratt, Tulane's quarterback, he just had a 93.3% completion for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was 14 for 15.
Fire.
Yeah.
So it's like we actually have. This is going to be a very offense heavy game. Whoever's defense is better is probably the team that'll win.
And I suspect that Ole Miss has a better defense just because where they're playing week in, week out throughout the season, the people that are recruiting and so forth. Rebel. What do you got for me on this?
Two things. I think they run them out of the gym, and Tulane's a very solid Group of 5 team. By the rankings of the best Group of 5 team in the country right now. Lane Kiffin's been there now how many years? 4 years.
Something like that.
I think even for the SEC, even the lower tier SEC, you've got to show some general progress. And after 4 years, there's going to be some of the old rebels down there going, okay, it's time to start contending here. Not the gradual upset here and there.
But are they expecting to be Alabama?
No, I don't think so. But they're looking to be competitive. They're looking to upset. They don't want to lose to Mississippi State. They don't want to lose to Auburn. They're hoping to maybe snag LSU, something like that.
They want one big upset and then a consistent win against.
So the years when they weren't expected to do much, they tended to do better. The other thing that they've got going for them is, a Tulane, a Group of 5 school. You look to the game behind next game to see if they're going to overlook it. It's Georgia Tech. Technically, Tulane's a better team than Georgia Tech. So I don't see them overlooking this game, even though it's a Group of 5 school. I think they still run them out of the gym.
Okay. Is that Tulane? You think that matters?
No. Look, you're close enough to Mississippi; they will travel well. So, I don't think it'll matter.
For the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Rooster?
No, I've already said it. I think Ole Miss wins by 24. I know Cheeks has something to say about it because Tulane was actually a team that beat Purple Blooded USC last year. 46-45 in a thriller. But again, last year, this year. I think Tulane did lose a lot of that talent that they had. They had that prolific offense last year, mediocre defense. I just think that this stack up is not the right one for them. Ole Miss is more athletic, they're bigger, and they're going to have a better defense than Tulane has faced. Again, week 1 for both teams, kind of weak teams, USA and Mercer. Nothing against those programs, but against these two teams, we're going to find out what they're truly made of.
Cheeks, so are you getting some revenge against Tulane?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm saying at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
At least.
And I think all of us at this table can say confidently that if you're going to put your money on the game, who's going to win? Obviously, it's going to be Ole Miss. If you're going to go with a 21-point spread on that.
The spread's only -7.
Yeah. For the sake of the conversation, if Tulane wins the game, do you look more at them like, oh, wow, they here we go again, or that, oh, wow, like LSU did? Do you look at Ole Miss
Are they Cincinnati this year?
Yeah, or do you look at Ole Miss and go, you're bad.
I think based on the offensive production we saw last week, tough schedule. We did mention that earlier in the season here, but I think Ole Miss takes this away. Maybe not by 24.
I will also play a little devil's advocate on there. If you look at the Tulane schedule, this is their last major challenge of the year. So if they're gonna fight hard and fight for something, I bet you their coach is going in this week to Rebel's point on Kansas going to be overlooked by Ole Miss, probably not with Georgia Tech on the heels. Tulane's going this as this is our all-in game. We win this one, we might be able to win on the ticket.
But Cincinnati, years back, had played about 3 or 4 top 25 teams by the end of the season. Tulane's not going to have that opportunity, so they're still going to be, even if they went undefeated, they're still going to be outside the top 4.
Well, here's the thing, though. You got to recognize if they run the table, they won't be in the top 4. But they'll be the highest ranked Group of 5 school, which gets them a New Year's Day bowl, which gets them a really big payday, just like they did last year. So there's definitely some motivation there, even if they don't have a schedule to make them one of the top 4.
Yep. Hey, let's go down to Miami. South Beach, baby. You go down there, you got some pina coladas, drink some Miami Vices, maybe even do a couple shots of some sex on the beach or something like that. And then you got Texas A&M coming on in there. This is clearly a defining season for Jimbo Fisher. This is the season that he has to do something. That buyout is slowly coming down by about 5-6 million every season. I think in October it comes down by 4 or 5 million probably as well. So They got a veteran team coming out there. Miami, not very much hyped up team like they normally are. They're not even in the top 25 this year. And they're always in the top 25 at the beginning of the season, just because of the recruiting that they do and so forth. Is it Mario Cristobal is the coach, trying to do some recruiting here and there and still didn't get in the top 25. What are your thoughts on this? I see you I see you shaking your head over there.
It's, what's the old saying? Humble pie does the heart good sometimes. I think Texas A&M last year had to eat some humble pie. They were all world, and you saw how that did. You haven't just heard much out of them this year. I think it's more about put your nose back to the grind, get back to what we're doing. We've got the talent to be a very good football team, and so I think they go into Miami and blow them out. The other thing that's behind the scene is, so Cristobal goes down to Miami. He's supposed to be the savior of the Miami football program. I know this because he stole Appalachian State's offensive coordinator. The guy was there 1 year and left. I think there's a lot of, some disruption amongst the coaching staff where they've got a lot of new coaches in down there this year. I don't think it's because of performance. I think that the assistants left deliberately. So therefore, does that play into their performance? But at the end of the day, I think A&M has just said, cut the crap and let's get back to it.
Yeah. A&M's got two strong receivers, Evan Stewart, but also Noah Thomas is 6'6". If a defender's trying to pick a ball, he's got to fight a guy who's 6'6" and can jump.
Yeah,
that's going to be a challenge.
We can demonstrate that now if you want.
If Miami can shut down the pass and rush,
can their defense do that? Yeah, Connor Wagman at Texas A&M had 5 touchdowns. Connor Wagman at Texas A&M had 5 touchdowns, 236 yards passing last week. But then Tyler Van Dyke on the Miami side had 51 rushing yards, 493 total yards of offense last week. This is a team that can move the ball down the field. It's going to come down to both teams can move the ball down the field. It's going to come down to defense on this one as well. And Texas A&M just has some studs on defense, man. They really do.
They held New Mexico to 92 yards total offense.
And that was with the second team. This is the second half.
Probably, yes.
Have you ever paid attention in a Miami game when the cameraman zooms out in a Miami game? It's like,
there's like 35 people in the stadium, or what?
So disappointing.
That's because it's so hot down there. Like, we're so
exciting.
Would you rather be hanging on a South Beach with the topless, or would you rather be in the stadium?
They are not going to beat Texas A&M.
Not a chance.
Topless men for a female listener.
Can I be
He's a naysayer. Let's hear it.
You guys can buy me drinks next week if I actually pull this one off. I think the Hurricanes are going to win.
I will buy you a drink. Here first.
Here's I'll play a little devil's advocate with Cheeks over here. Is that we've been for several years we've been doing this show. We've been high on SEC, high on SEC. The SEC teams just lost this past week to lesser conferences. So we have Pac-12 teams coming to the SEC. You have ACC teams coming to the SEC. These things last 10 years, really.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put my money on Miami, but I'll just say that the domination that we've seen with years past, one thing that we've talked about with the transfer portal is we're not seeing that domination as much anymore.
And look at the Pac-12, like they won all the games, 13-0 this week. Insane.
That's
sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't bring that up any further. I had to bring this up for my man over here. App State versus UNC. I don't even know what's going to happen. But last year, that game was insane. Now, is this going to happen again in Chapel Hill?
No.
Why not?
Because I think we have like 4 returning starters. Offensive and defensive line. I watched the I watched an FCS school push them around pretty good last Saturday until it got late in the game and they made some adjustments. So, I'm not going to sell them out, but I wouldn't bet on them, and I'm not confident as I was last year. Last year I thought we went to the game and had a shot, and obviously we gave them all they wanted. But this year we've got too many new pieces and critical places, I think, to go against, in my opinion, who possibly can win the Heisman next year. Drake may hang 60 points on it. I mean, that's just how it feels. I mean, I really do.
So we have one more UNC grad over here, and we're going to let you have the final word on this game, Chief.
UNC played great last Saturday. Defense played far better. They played great. They played great, but the defense played great.
I went through the offense. I'm okay.
North Carolina played great. App State, this is their Super Bowl game of the season. If they can pull it off, they're gonna. And as a UNC alum and fan, I am concerned playing App State. There are two schools that I do not like to play in Chapel Hill more than anything. App State and ECU.
Well, to your point, these in-state rivalries always mean a little more, right? So what I think hurts them is the fact of East Carolina comes to Boone the very next week. And so that's going to be a massive game up there. They'll play in front of 45, 46,000. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, the North Carolina game doesn't mean that much other than bragging rights.
Well, that's good bragging rights to have.
It is. I mean, they're going to play hard. I just don't know if they have enough gas in the tank this year against probably is the best North Carolina team in the last 20 years. Yeah. And a guy who legitimately can win the Heisman Trophy.
So, because our fan base is, there's a lot of us in South Carolina, right? I wanted to bring up this game, and I honestly, based upon the performance last week in that Swiss cheese offensive line that Carolina has, I'm wondering if Furman, who actually was able to score a ton of points last week against their opponent, I'm wondering if Carolina might have an upset this week when they face Furman. Does anyone have any agreement with me on that?
Not at all.
No. Well, no.
USC's going to win.
I think they win. I don't think they posted a spread for that game. But I think for a game like this, as we've already alluded to in a couple other games, this is Furman's Super Bowl, playing in the SoCon. They will play it closer than most people think. South Carolina pulled away in the second half. Yeah. But Furman will make some plays on them. I'll put it to you like that. And the thing is this, when any FCS school plays a big boy, if they can get it into the fourth quarter, all bets are off. If you get it to the fourth quarter, what these big schools need to do is jump on them, bear them in the first half, and call it a day. But hope is only the greatest motion better than that one is fear. If you put teams of hope into the fourth quarter, all bets are off. Just South Carolina lose nothing.
Even with that Swiss cheese of an offensive line, Spencer Rattler was able to get. Okay, go ahead.
There's a big difference between 260-pound kids on the defensive line and 300-pound monsters that UNC had last week. So I think that the offensive line is going to be able to handle it. Obviously, if you're Beamer, that offensive line is a point of focus, even to the point where you might see a fullback or a bigger running back in that backfield making sure Spencer Rattler has time. Because the wide receivers are going to dominate against the Furman team. So we've got the weapons if we can give Spencer Rattler the time.
We have the weapons on the Carolina, has the weapons on the outside. The right quarterback to do the job. Does he have the extra half a second in front of him? And there's this game he will against.
Well, here's the other thing to keep in mind last week. I've had a lot of this conversation because both people know that I like both teams. When you basically got your third-team quarterback starting at running back because they're that depleted back there, what you do is to your front seven is they don't worry about the run. They pin back their ears and they blitz, and don't give them time. Okay, that's why you had 6 or 8, 9 sacks, whatever it was. There's no respect for a running game.
Yeah.
Furman had a better running game. Furman will have to defend more of a run this time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's why North Carolina defense, if they go with South Carolina's offense that bad, I think they got problems. But to completely throw their offensive line under the bus because of the way the defense got to play because of how depleted they were, it changes the game a bit.
It'll be fun to watch, at least for my skepticism about the Carolina offense and defense.
You mean South Carolina, right?
South Carolina.
What happens if Furman wins, right?
All those tickets to the Carolina games go way down in price.
No, South Carolina still packs the stadium.
That's right. Next week, yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Georgia's coming to town.
Of course. No, they're going to Mississippi State.
Oh, they're going to Georgia. Oh, sorry. Mississippi State's the following week after that. Yeah, it's Georgia and then Mississippi State. Yeah, and Parents Weekend, my man. My good friend over here will be over there.
That's right.
Hanger. Oh, your name is Hanger Chopper, whatever the hell his name is. That's a name. Get that right. Y'all know that. All right. We have got to move on. We got to get the Alabama game in. Alabama versus Texas. Sorry, Alabama. Yeah, Texas is coming to Alabama. That's going to be a tough game on the road for those Texas Longhorns. Jalen Milroe started at Alabama last week. 13 for 18, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns, 48 yards rushing. That's not the best performance. That's not the best performance.
What did he not do?
What did he? Pardon me?
What did he not do? He didn't turn the ball over. And if you don't turn the ball over, Alabama wins the game.
Manage the game. It's 56-7. He didn't play past the first series of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't think that's really something to hang your hat on with the stats there because he was out of the game. I think that we've got a couple sleepers that we're going to talk about Texas A&M. Alabama's been sitting back and everybody else is talking around. LSU after LSU beat them last year. I never want to see Saban woken up like I think he is this year. I think he is going to be maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years left at Alabama. I don't think he's going to go out a loser.
Yeah, this is all going to totally come down to coaching and just fundamentals on the field. Saban.
So you think the disciplined team is going to win?
Yeah.
Texas, I don't feel like has the discipline that Alabama
They
has.
played good second half this past weekend. They did not play good the first half. So here's the thing with Alabama. 2 things with this. Nick Saban said in an interview last year that they leaned on Bryce Young way too much, which means they way too much and got away. You take those big backs and pound on you, and you get to the third, fourth quarter, the holes open up, and you start running like they're not even there, number one. And so the other thing, too, is that Texas, ever since Vince Young left, they found a way to lose. In big games, they find a way to lose. So you combine those 2 things, I think Alabama wins.
But this is a team at Texas that held their own with Alabama last year
and found a way to lose.
Hold on. Texas barely found a way to lose. With Quinn Ewers out of the game after the first quarter.
Yeah, that won't happen again.
That won't happen again. But I'm saying that this is a team that's returning like 17, 18 starters from last season. Texas is going to go in there and have a chance, and
everybody's got a chance. But you're sitting there game day. It's a 7 o'clock game. Those fans are going to be as rowdy as they've ever been for a game shy of an Auburn game.
It's just it's a half-point spread.
It is a wide cheese.
By the way, only beat Rice 37-10.
Just saying.
Say what?
All those starters that just came back only beat Rice 37-10.
Yeah, but they still.
Isn't that KT Daniel down there checking them out?
Remember? Yeah, but I'm just telling you, like, Texas is coming back. They're going to be able. Alabama is a relatively. I don't know if you would say a young team, but they didn't return a lot of starters from last season. They're unproven. Now, mind you, we know Nick Saban recruits the best in the world. We know that he has the best program out there in the world.
The thing that impressed me about their first game last week was the fact that when the quarterback got in trouble, made mistakes. He fumbled the snap and scrambled for a touchdown. He is cool under pressure. You're not going to rattle him. Again, I think Alabama rolls.
Give me a score.
I think I did. What did I say? Say yours 38-24. I said
38-24.
Yeah, I think that's what I put down. Yeah, or something along those lines.
So they beat them pretty bad.
I think it's a 14-point spread.
You think it's a 14-point game, Chief? I do not see
Alabama by 14.
I see it going right down to the wire.
28-17.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheeks. What are your thoughts?
She picked Texas.
Cheeks to so did I picked Texas.
Was it 34 Texas? Is that what I saw you post, Cheeks?
We're always we're always on the outs over here, me and Cheeks, and we always come out winners, don't we? Yeah, we do. That's right. Yeah.
His face went
Went blank and couldn't register.
You get your but what I'm gonna say to you, Brewster, what the fuck?
I was just looking at the page and we had somebody post in the comments. My what the fuck is going to be two-part. Number one is Clemson should not be in the top 25 after taking a whooping like the Wolves.
You're exactly right.
And number two, it was already alluded to, what the fuck spectrum, like the Friday night of freaking college football. You turn off ESPN without any warning, without even telling anybody.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That was mine too.
Spectrum.
15 million households could not watch college football because of that.
What the fuck, Spectrum?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Mine's along kind of the Clemson with a P Duke game. Something I put up on the Facebook page, guys. You know, I put a lot of content up there. Some of it's funny, some of it's serious. Go check it out. Duke rolled them. That game was Duke from the kickoff. Rolled them. Oh, now granted, Clemson shot themselves in the foot a bit. Clemson has 56 4- and 5-star recruits on that squad. Duke has 2. Okay, wow. This is like when the Florida Marlins go up and beat the Yankees in the World Series. I mean, that's kind of how discrepant it was, and it's kind of like, guys, you've accrued all this talent, you got to do something with it. What the fuck?
Yeah, mine builds on that one. Clemsoning is back.
Shakes, what the fuck, Shakes? I know you're going to NFL with me.
No, I'm not.
You're not? That's our one dose of
I was originally.
That starts next week, so.
My original one was a Clemson thing, but no. I'm a little baffled by Georgia because Georgia, I guess these guys have a God complex. Since they won the national championship, they've had over 14 players or staff members arrested for dangerous driving. People died.
That's typical Georgia.
Steve Spurrier used to say he loved playing Georgia third game of the year because half the team would be in jail. It's nothing new.
Georgia will not be undefeated in October. I'm calling it here now. October 1, they will not be undefeated.
Must be out in Auburn's coming to town.
Hey, you know what my what the fun is going to be? My what the fun is going to be, we started up the guys top 25, and we don't have 1,500 members contributing to that yet. What the fun, members?
Let's get on it.
I know, because that thing is...
a window for me last night because I didn't watch the game.
So there's 65 AP reporters that get to contribute to the AP top 25. If we get 1,500 members to contribute to the guys at the bar talking sports, guys top 25.
I think guys will be more accurate than the 8.
Accurate, baby. We might be rolling in something right here, man. And my man Michael.
People start referencing us for their plays.
And we got our intern Michael, who's also Goop. Y'all might remember from last season, Goop. He's the one that created that thing for me when I told him about it. He's like, I think I can do it. I said, okay, let's go. We heard the last call.
Yep.
Last call. What surprised you the most about college football this past weekend? Go, Chopper. Colorado.
I mean, without a doubt.
Okay.
Just the way they came out and dominated that game. And he said he was going to do it, and he did it. And he backed that up, man. That's strong.
Shakes, what surprised you the most after week 1 college football?
The Pac-12. 13-0, Pac-12. They're coming on like a sandstorm.
Sandstorm. Chief, what surprised you the most?
The number of upsets and the number of close calls, because a lot of the games, we saw upsets that they should have been the cakewalk games.
Okay, that's totally true. Rebel.
My what the fuck is Oklahoma. It really is. I mean, you got a defensive-minded coach. They couldn't score for nothing. Granted, they were playing a group of 5 school. But my goodness, they found points, and they found it in bunches, and they probably could have scored 100 if they'd have set their mind to it. This is a different Oklahoma. I'm not telling they're going to make it there, but I'm intrigued.
You're intrigued. So could they win the Big 12?
No.
Well, then you're not that intrigued.
I know that they will win some games they shouldn't win. Let's put it like that.
Rooster, give it to me. What's surprising the most?
Well, I'm going to go back to my roots here, but I always do okay, so that's Colgate 65-0. This is a game that we, as locals of Syracuse, talked and we're unsure about where Syracuse is. They got a returning quarterback. They have an awesome wide receiver squad to include probably the best tight end in the country. Just so you know, his last name is Gadsden. He was a wide receiver last year, bulked up about 40 pounds. He is a 6'7" monster that was hard to cover last year for Syracuse. Going to be even harder to cover as a tight end. Their defense showed up. I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic about Syracuse, but I bet you we see him bowling this year.
Wait a minute, did you say 40 pounds?
Yeah.
Better not test. Clemson at home this year.
And that's always
a tough game. Yeah.
And that surprised me, the 65-0 as well. It made me think, is Rooster going to be happy this season? After I saw that.
You got to look excited.
Yeah, I know. Cautiously optimistic, but I do like they have a Georgia-like season as far as out of conference, which means they're not playing anybody out of conference. So we'll see what happens. I don't think they'll break into the top 25, but I think we can see 8-6, 8-5, somewhere in that race for Syracuse.
Which is not what you expected in the beginning of the season.
No,
so
we had to play for 5 and 7.
One little blip. You got 5 seconds.
3 seconds. Based on week 1, can we see the coastal ACC be decided between Duke and North Carolina in football? Yes.
That would be crazy.
There'd have to be a big upset over Florida State, but that's a possibility.
Hey, and we didn't talk about Notre Dame at all this week.
Just did. There you go. So what surprised me the most this week was Notre Dame. I'm just kidding. This week is how freaking awesome our Facebook group is. Me and Pegram were talking about that, or the Rebel, we're talking about that earlier. How exposed. It's freaking insane how cool our Facebook group is. So join it. Keep on coming back every week. Listen to some more guys in the Bar.